I was working with a practice up in Alaska, brand new dentist, right out of school, and we got to his initial training where I was going to show him how to do billing statements. And it's like, oh, I don't need to learn how to do that. I'm going to collect 100% over the counter. I know. I was laughing on the inside, but I go, that is a great goal. I would love to do that too. My office collected 65% over the counter, and I thought that was pretty darn good. But so we skipped it. I didn't teach him how to do billing statements. About 6 months later, I got a call. So we had to do a remote session. I had to teach him how to do billing statements. But billing statements, it is kind of a necessary evil. Nobody likes to do billing statements. I never liked doing billing statements. I remember when I was probably, 10 years into dentistry, and when you're 10 years into dentistry, you probably learned from other people, have taught you. My office manager taught me how to do billing statements, and this is how we did it. And we would, run month end, and we would do statement run once a month, and it was exhausting. It was just the worst part of my month ever. And I would tell my front office girls, I'd say, okay, it's statement time, I'm going to be in the back, I have to go through 250 statements and sort through them and put my stamp on them, because that's what I was taught. I didn't know any different, okay? But as I evolved into kind of my own office manager and managing an office, managing an office, $1.2 million, and I had an accounts receivable of about $120,000. So we sent a significant amount of statements, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way. And when we got Dentrix, and I learned more about Dentrix, and I started to get creative with things in Dentrix. I started getting creative with how can I make my month end and my billing statements better? How can I make my life in the office better? How can I relieve some of the stress? Because it would take me 3 or 4 or 5 days to get these statements out. And in between scheduling patients and in between, doing treatment plans and all of that. So it was very trying, and I don't know if you all have the same experience, but and then I finally get all my statements out, and then what happens? Phone calls, right? You get flooded with phone calls, and so then you tell your front desk, okay, just take messages, I'll call them back, So, I never did that, but you get flooded with phone calls, and what else happens? You get a ton of money, right? So your collections spike, and which is awesome, because your collections is outperforming your production. So for about a week, you're like, woohoo, my collections are 150%, right on. But then it starts to, dwindle down, and then you're back at 98%. It's where you should be, but you're all disappointed. But so your phone calls spike, your collections spike, and you're stressed out for about 4 days trying to get them out. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. There's got to be a better way. So when I became a trainer and I started getting really creative in Dentrix, what I found was a better way. And it was a better way for me. And I'd love to talk to you about it and how I did it.